Hey, we've had too many icy road crashes to count, but the big one, have you heard this or seen this yet? Take a listen.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
I knew that guy.
Oh, Lord.
Can't do anything.
Okay, it is
Watch
really
yourself.
uncomfortable. It is just uncomfortable to hear that. And those are folks who are standing well away from it, just kind of watching it happen. So 193 vehicles in that pileup along I-94 in Michigan. And so we wanted to give you a strategy for survival if you find yourself in an icy collision chain accident. So let's say you're caught in the middle of one. Car coach Lauren Fix joins us now with some life-saving advice. Lauren, and if I'm right, you're coming to us from Detroit this morning, and already you guys have some problems on the roads. You were out early to get where you need to this morning. How were they along the Detroit area?
Right. I'm here at the North American International Auto Show, and traffic was horrible. The weather it's been snowing here. The roads are icy and they're unplowed, and they've just been salting, so it's very dangerous on the roadway.
All right, so let's say that we're on the road and we find ourselves in one of these chain car collisions, and we see the cars, or we have visibility enough to see them piling up in front of us. Do we swerve off the road? What do we do? What's our first thought? Do we try to slow down and get into them, or do we just get off the road?
Well, the first thought is obviously to have as much distance as you can between you and the vehicle in front of you. You have to give yourself almost twice the distance because of the fact that if you hit the brakes, you're most likely going to slide, especially if you're with all-season tires. They fill up with snow and they become very slick.
All right, so what is it about conditions like this? Because you're going at a pretty good clip, even when the roads aren't plowed. We're looking at that big chain car accident, and the reason we keep showing you this is that this should be a really good warning to us. Do we feel like impervious in our SUVs now, that we feel like nothing can happen to us?
Yeah, I think people do feel that way with SUVs and large pickup trucks. They feel that, I'm going to be fine. They've got great safety equipment now these days. I'll just wear my seatbelt and I've got airbags. But the problem is still the idea is no one wants to be in an accident. And the bigger concern is you accidentally slide into the vehicle in front of you. Always look in your rearview mirror and leave your seatbelt on as tight as you can, because I promise you, the guy behind you, he's going to slide into you also.
All right.
So you have to be real careful.
But you leave a good point when you talk about, when you're talking to folks about this, leaving your car on after you've been involved in one of these. And you brought up such a smart point, because I was like, no, turn the car off. But Lauren, why do you say leave the car on?
Well, we just saw those GM ignition switch situations. And what happens when the key is in the off or accessory position, the car airbag does not work. Active and passive safety systems work when the car is running, which means if you want your airbags to potentially protect you, whether it be a side collision or a front collision, the most important thing you can do is leave your car on. So put on your four-ways, let people know there's a problem around you. You have to communicate. But then in addition, leave the car running so that the airbags and all the passive safety features work.
Okay, that's so counterintuitive, because, and of course it depends on the situation. If the car doesn't sound safe running, of course you got to turn it on, but leaving it on, so important to say that again, leaves those passive safety, like the airbags that surround you in today's cars. Now, Lauren, let's ask you this. Let's say I have 2 babies, 3 babies, I have kids in the car. You know what, we're 8 seconds before we go, so let's hold you across the break, because your decision has to be different if you've got kids in the car and families in the car. We'll be right back.